Hey guys, I'm going to try to make this a real quick video because all I am doing for today's video is kind of showing you what you are doing in your packet for today. Please keep in mind that I will be watching what you do on your computer via Classwise today. Um, Remember that you do need to get this whole packet done. I will be grading this packet. And if you do not get it finished, you need to take it home and finish it over the weekend. Please, please, please be on your best behavior. 5, 6. I am counting on you. You know the deal. Um, and yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. So let me share my screen. Okay. So the first part of this, it gives you these equations. You just need to tell me what the slope is and what the y-intercept is for the equations. Remember, whatever number is next to x, that is my slope. Whatever number is being added or subtracted on at the end is my y-intercept. So it's a +1. That means it's a +1 is my y-intercept. If there is no number in front of x, that means that there's a 1 there, an imaginary hidden 1. Remember, if it's a subtraction sign, then it's a negative y-intercept. If there is no number being added on, then there's no y-intercept. If there is no x, then the slope is 0. Okay? Can give you guys a second, fill this in. Okay, the next part of this, it wants you to find the slope and the y-intercept for each line. So this is what we did on Wednesday. Finding the y-intercept is what I like to do first, where it crosses the y-axis right here at -2. So my y-intercept, or b, is -2. And then my slope is, this is a positive line, so my slope is going to be a positive number. And I need to do my rise divided by my run. And so it went up 1, 2, 3 over 1. So 3 over 1, which 3 divided by 1 is equal to 3. I'm pretty sure this was actually the exact same line as the one we did on the worksheet from Wednesday. Okay, the next page of your packet, it wants you to write the equations for all of the ones on the front. So you are going to have to flip back and forth. So I did A with you. We got 3 for our slope, -2 for our y-intercept. So our equation, remember, it's always y equals mx plus b. So it's y equals 3x, because our m was 3. And then our b was -2, so it's going to be -2. Y equals 3x minus 2. So you'll just have to fill in those equations for the other 3. Okay, this one here, write the equation, state the slope and y-intercept. So this one, this is our line up here, by the way. This is the line that it wants us to do. So again, this is like out of order. I would always do the y-intercept, then the slope, then the equation. So my y-intercept, where it crosses, this is crossing the y-axis, and it's a horizontal, so my equation would be y equals, because it's crossing the y-axis. Then my y-intercept is 2. And because it is horizontal, my slope is 0. So a horizontal line is going to be y equals 2, where it crosses that y-axis. I will do B with you as well. So this one is a vertical line. Because it is straight up and down, my slope is undefined. The y-intercept does not exist. In A, not applicable because it doesn't cross our y-axis. So my equation, because it crosses the x-axis at -3, would be x equals -3. Because it's crossing the x-axis at -3. Okay, so you need to do B and C. This is the line for C. Sorry, not B and C, C and D. This is the line for C. And then the line for D is this line right here. Notice that line is on the x-axis. So flip to the next one where it says, number 5 says the line in question 4, part D, has a special name. What is it? That line is the x-axis. So it's asking you to find the equation for the x-axis. Okay, this one is going to be a little bit more of a struggle because we haven't really done too much of these. So it gives us our slope, our y-intercept for each one. We have to write the equation and then draw the line, graph the line. So my equation, y equals, my slope is 2/3 x plus my y-intercept plus 3. So when you are given the equation and you have to draw the graph, again, you start with your y-intercept. So my y-intercept is 3. That means my line is going to cross the y-axis at 1, 2, 3. This plus 3 means there's going to be a point right here. My slope, 2/3, well, I know that my slope is rise over run. So my 2 is my rise. My 3 is my run. So I'm going to go up 1, 2 and run 1, 2, 3. And I can connect. Notice my slope is positive. My slope is positive. I'm going to do one more with you. Just as an example, I'm going to do C with you now. So my equation for C, I've got a slope of -2, a y-intercept of 0. So my equation, y equals mx plus b, y equals my slope, -2, x plus b would be plus 0. I don't really have to do the plus 0, but you can. So if it's plus 0, that means it's going to go through the origin. That plus 0 means it's going through the origin. And then my -2, I know it's going to be a negative slope, so it's got to go this direction. But it's not written as a fraction for us. So to make it written as a fraction, -2, I would just have to put it over 1. So the -2 is my rise, 1 is my run. So if I'm rising -2, that means I'm going to go down 2 and go to the right 1. Down 2 to the right 1. And like I said, it should look like it's going in this direction. Just like that. Okay, so you guys will have to do the other 3. Flip the page again. And we're doing the exact same, well, not the exact same thing. We're doing a similar thing. It's giving us the equations. We have to write the slope, the y-intercept, and graph it. But these ones are all going to be the horizontal or the vertical lines. None of them are diagonal. So I have y equals -5. So y equals -5. If it's easier for you to graph it first and then do slope and y-intercept, you can. Or if you can look at it and be like, okay, I've got y equals, there's no x, so my slope is 0, and my y-intercept is -5. Then that might make it easy too. If it's x equals, then my slope is undefined, and my y-intercept does not exist, not applicable. So now I can graph y equals -5 because it's y equals -5. That means that it's going to go through my y-axis at -5. Just like that. Okay, flipping the page again. So now we have some real world problems. The distance time graph of a person walking in front of a motion sensor is shown. So how far away from the sensor did the person begin walking? So it's asking about where it began walking. If you need to use the blue and pink highlighters to help you with this, please feel free to do so. So it's asking, where did they begin? Where did they start? At 0 seconds, where did they start? Then it says, how fast did the person walk? And it even tells you you're finding the slope. So the slope is the speed. and it would be meters per second. And then last one, did the person walk away from or towards the sensor, sorry. So if their distance is getting larger, it's walking away from, because of the distance between the person and the sensor, it's moving away. Where if they are getting closer and their distance is getting smaller, it's going to walk to it. So think about, what does this graph mean? Is it walking further from the sensor or closer to the sensor? Oh, number 10. I don't know why it went from 8 to 10. It just wants you to find, identify the slope and the vertical intercept of each linear relation and explain what they represent. Write the equation to describe the relationship. So when it says what they represent, it's talking about, this is still, well, this one is someone walking, so it's their distance. So the y-intercept would be their starting. Their slope would be their meters per second. This one is, the circumference of a tree trunk as it gets older. So the circumference, how much did it start at when it wasn't a tree? And then how much did it get larger by, how many centimeters per year did the circumference go? So you need to find the slope, find the y-intercept, and write the equations. That I think y'all can do. Flip it to the back again. So this is similar to the very first one. Actually, I think, are these the same? They are similar. They are similar. The one that is the trickiest here, so again, it's asking you to find the slope and the y-intercept, is this one here where it's got x over 2. That is the same as 1/2. Because there would be a 1 in front of the x. And then my y-intercept is -3. So go ahead, fill in the slope and y-intercept for these other ones. Then number 2 here, you're finding the slope and the y-intercept. So this one, this page is very, very similar to the front page, the very first page you did. So my y-intercept is 6. My slope, I can just use this point here. My y-intercept is 6. My slope is, I can choose that point too. Doesn't really matter. I'm going down. It's a negative slope. And it's 3 over 1. So 3 over 1 is equal to -3. You don't even have to write the equations for these ones. Oh, just kidding. I lied. You do over here. This is a lot like the very first page I gave you. So you are going to write the equation for each of the graphs you just did. So should be pretty simple. Okay, very last one. This one is just a matching. So the front side is the slope. It gives you an answer bank and you have to match the slope to the graph. So if I look at this one, I have a pretty point here and a pretty point here. My slope is negative. M equals negative. If I go down and over, I went down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I went over 1, 2, 3, 4. That gives me -6 over 4. Well, I can simplify 6 over 4 to -3 over 2. And you can see that here, there's another pretty point right here with 3 over 2. So that means that I've got 3 over 2 up here. So this matches up with number 1. And you can, actually, you don't just like cross it out. So if you come up with something and it's not in the answer bank up here, you either did not simplify or you did it wrong. So just keep that in mind. The back is the same idea, but this time you're identifying the y-intercept. So I'm going to be using the exact same graphs, but I'm finding B. So that is where the line crosses the y-axis. So this line crosses here at 2. So my y-intercept is 2. I can cross out 2 from my answer bank. Okay? If you finished the packet early before the end of class, you can go ahead, work on extra math. And then if you finish your extra math and class is still not over, you can go ahead, grab a book to read, go back and finish the work from Wednesday if you didn't, or sorry, Tuesday if you didn't finish it, finish any work from any other missing classes, anything like that. But if I catch you on games on class-wise and I'm not in the room to see that you're done with your work, I'm probably going to block you. So I wouldn't even really try and bother about trying to get onto games or anything on your computer. Just read a book, work on other work. But also, it's a really long packet, so I find it difficult to believe you would complete the packet and the extra math. If you guys have any questions, as always, just reach out to me via Google Classroom. I will have my computer out, and I will try to respond as soon as I can. Okay, guys, have a good day. I will see you on Monday.